So Nintendo probably just leaked the Breath of the Wild release date. Okay, well, not Nintendo necessarily. Somebody that works with Nintendo. I'm not a person that knows names and stuff, but based off the Game Brand article during the awards and stuff, there was a podcast going on, and basically, uh, Pierce Snyder, if that's his name, he basically said, well, no, excuse me, IGN boss Pierce Snyder. He was on a Nintendo Voice Chat podcast talking about attending the Game Awards, but he didn't show up. But on the podcast, he basically slipped up and said that fans can enjoy the Breath of the Wild 2 or Breath of the Wild sequel in November of next year. And I don't know if that's a slip up. I don't know if that was on purpose, by accident. Take it with a grain of salt. Until I see everything in paper, printed on trailers, until we get solid release dates, take it with a grain of salt just for the simple fact that I can't see this game releasing if there's no Switch Pro. Now, hopefully, next year they release a Switch Pro, but I don't see that happening. I really don't see that happening for the simple fact that we have a chip shortage, semiconductor shortage. We might not get a Switch Pro, but I feel like Nintendo will have to do something to stay competitive, because the Switch currently, it has outdated hardware, and right now I don't want to say it's struggling to play ports in certain games, but you can see the age on the system. And right now, I don't think that Breath of the Wild 2 will be released alongside the base Switch OLED, and Switch Lite, because it's still using the same Tegra X chip. That chip is a chip that's it's older. It's like around the 360 PS3 type of tech. Okay, like you could play 360 games perfectly fine, and then when you start playing Xbox One games, you could do some magic with the ports. But now when we get into the next gen with the Series X and the PS5, a lot of third party games or third party companies, they still make games for the PS4 and the Xbox One, but you know it's getting more difficult because the games are more demanding now. And Breath of the Wild 1 was a demanding game. It looked beautiful. I don't remember a lot of loading screens, but the game was well optimized for the Switch. Now, if they're trying to be more ambitious with the sequel, I don't want to. It should be able to run fine on the Switch, because I know they want to keep the Switch family. They want to keep the games all compatible with each system. But if you really want to sell Breath of the Wild 2, if you really want to sell Switches, the next Switch has to be a Switch Pro that just, it does the graphics, it does the frame rates good. It can't be the Switch OLED. I can't see myself. I mean, I could see people buying Breath of the Wild 2 will sell, whether they come out with a new Switch or not. But Nintendo wants to keep selling systems. We're about to move, what is it, year 5 or year 6? I can't keep track. But this is where you get to see the drop off. If majority of the people have Switches, the drop off starts going down. Less people is buying them. So how are you going to get people to keep buying? You got to make something good, because the OLED Switch didn't have any increased hardware. It just had a better screen. To the average consumer, or to someone that never had a Switch, that seems good. For a person like me, for a person like you on YouTube that watches these videos, you probably already have a Switch. If you don't care about a brighter screen, and you know that your Switch is going to perform the same, the OLED Switch is going to perform the same as your current Switch, there's no need to upgrade. You get where I'm coming at. Breath of the Wild 2, it might be, It might release next year because I don't know any other games off the top of my head. I don't know if Splatoon is 2022 or 2023, but future Nintendo games, there's not a lot that I know off the top of my head. So if you want a system seller, if you want to keep selling Switches, you gotta make a new revision of the Switch and release it along Breath of the Wild 2. Breath of the Wild 1 came out alongside the Switch. I think if you're gonna do a real jump from the regular Switch to like the new Switch or the 4K or whatever it is, you got to do it with Breath of the Wild too, just because of the how big and open and demanding the game is. All right. If you guys like the video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification button to stay notified. All right. I'm out. Stay safe.